You are now tuning in to Youth Voices Amplified, a podcast production from the Community Enrichment Project, a youth civic engagement nonprofit in Butte, Washington, D.C. Today's episode, Youth Justice, was hosted by me, Zion Smithen, in honor of National Youth Justice Awareness Month, which is organized by the Campaign for Youth Justice. We discussed what youth justice is and how and why we think youth justice policy should change. If you'd like to comment or connect with us, email us at info@thecepdc.com or check us out on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram at the CEPDC. Alright, so I'm here with Christian.
How you doing?
We're both in 9th grade. I go to Duke.
Go to Banneker.
Alright, so when you watch the Khalif Browder documentary, what'd you think about it?
I think it was kind of wild because the fact that the guards let this incident get to the point where he had to kill himself, I think that's kind of absurd, and it goes to show that we need better. What's the word? We need better. We need to take more safety measures to make sure everybody in the prison system is still safe. Yeah.
I have to agree because I feel like the whole situation could have been avoided because he was told that he was, going to be taken to the police facility to be questioned. He ended up not going home, and he was in his teens. And him to be charged as an adult for such a minor thing, like the person said he took the book back, he didn't take the book back, so it was alleged. So they obviously didn't do their job right and just profiled him straight up. And now his life is over because of mistreatment. And that just makes you crazy,
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's to me. That's way out of pocket. I don't agree with that.
What are some mistakes you made as a child, and how have you changed since then?
Oh man. I mean, when I was a kid, when I was really younger, I used to get in a lot of fights. I used to have a lot of talks. I used to just get in a lot of fights. I always used to be around older kids around my way or my cousins. They weren't the best of role models, but I did used to pay attention to them and what they did and take heed to it and kind of looked up to it, be it good or bad. So when I first started just fighting, it was back to back and back to back with the same people over and over again. So so it was kind of it was more of I could have did better, but as I grew older, I think in 5th grade was a point where I just realized that it was starting to get immature, fighting over anything over and over again. Started to get a little immature, and I was getting tired of it. I was getting tired of going to the principal's office, having talks with my mom.
What are some of the main reasons why some kids may be more vulnerable to being incarcerated in the United States than others?
In my opinion, I think it's more of the area that you live in, because most of the kids in low class areas tend to do whatever they can, be it legal or not, to get money. And so they can provide for their family, and so they can make it out and actually have a future outside of just staying at home, working at McDonald's or AutoZone or anything like that. So I think it's more of environment. The United States of America, for low class residents all around, it's you don't really have you don't really have the best chance of succeeding because they place you in places that you don't that they know only about a good 100 out of a million kids will actually succeed in, for the simple fact that every kid isn't talented, and because they aren't talented, or they don't have
especially lots of money.
Yeah, money basically. It's all about money. Like,
yeah, because I think if you have a good enough lawyer, you can deny anything. Like, there are people out here who are doing anything and everything, and like they're billionaires, and there's a saying was like you're too rich to fail, and like that just like low key like makes me like real upset because it's just crazy because like you can be like a stone cold killer, like there's all this evidence pointing towards you, but if you have a good enough lawyer, you can get out of it. Like, you paid enough people off, you're getting out of it. Like, I don't think that there's anybody that can't be bribed. Like, I think that there is something that everybody will succumb to if it really came to.
And mostly for especially for black kids in DC, it's not like that. So we don't really have the luxury that billionaires have to pay people off or anything like that. We're just susceptible to our environment. So like whatever happens. You got to make sure you got to provide for your family to make it out. But I mean, at the same time, it's more of what society had, the point of view society has on certain black people. Mm-hmm. So like if you can be a really good kid, but if you like look rough or you look like there's something wrong with you, they gonna already profile you, or they gonna think that you're doing something wrong. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what happened to this kid in this story, because as you said, it was no evidence that he actually took the book bag. Mm-hmm. It was more of a profile. It was more of a profile. It wasn't like hard evidence to actually say that he actually did something wrong. So I think that's also what affects like society's point of view. They just like they do whatever they can to like to kind of put us in a box and leave us there. So like, because they are profiting off of, because the government is profiting off of prisons. So mm-hmm. the more people coming in, the more money that the government is making. So it's kind of a give and take. It's just like the low income kids are being taken mm-hmm. more.
Yeah. It makes me think about something that happened today. We were talking about profiling. Mm-hmm. I was walking into CVS because I usually go there in the morning. Like, it's on my way to school. And I was walking in, and there's a guy who usually stands like in front of the escalator because I had to go on the escalator to go upstairs. And he was asking me, like, how can I help you, right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm cool, right? And then there's another guy. He's like one of the managers, I guess. But he also came up to me and was like, hi, can I help you? You have any business here? Like, what do you need? And I'm like, do I not have the freedom to just roam through the store? Like, I'm not going to go and steal anything. Like, it's not like, I just don't like, I don't like when people, like, just, because I'm black, like, they just think I'm out to do some trouble. Like, there are kids I know who, like, really do stuff that like needs to be reprimanded, but they don't say anything. Like, I don't know why, but like when it comes to me, like I seem like an easy target because my face isn't all like this or that, and it looks like I'm gonna be nice. But like, there's a certain point to where like my kindness is like going to like start dwindling. I know that it doesn't sound good, but like it's just not right because like it just makes me feel like. It makes me feel like I'm a lesser person because people walked in like behind me. They didn't say anything to them, so I was like, "Dang! Like, what is it about me that you got to point out? Like, well, like what are you trying to show? Like, it just blew me. It was."
But another question: do you think children should be arrested in their schools for minor offenses such as petty theft or fighting?
To a certain extent, because if it's like. There was a story about some kids who had jumped a boy, and they literally beat him so bad that I think 3 days after he had got beat, I think I forgot exactly what happened, but he actually died. So to a certain extent, yes. But I mean, like if it's like a small fight, like a 30-second fight, or if it's not a fight that's actually going to injure somebody to a point where it's hard for you to maintain, or where you can't use your body to the best of your ability, then I don't think they should be arrested. Like if we're just fighting, I get a couple blows and you get a couple blows, and I don't think we should be arrested for that, because nobody's really hurt.
Yeah.
Nobody's really hurt. Nothing's broken on their body, unless it does get to that point. But I mean, like if you're not injured to a point where you can't move, or you have a couple broken bones on your body, I don't think they should be arrested.
Yeah, I think like it all comes down to like injuries and like the cause of the fight. Because if it's like, because I know some kids are like related to like gangs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
When it's like gang related stuff like that, I think you should like try and separate them, because that can probably cause like something way bigger that like you guys the school probably wouldn't want. But like you said, like the kids who like almost, if you kill someone or like get close to like taking someone's life, I think that's where like legal action should be taken, because like I wouldn't want my child going to school with kids who like almost killed them. Like nah. And like if you beat someone that bad, like I don't know what they must have done to you, but like I'm gonna try and figure out what it is, and I'm gonna like have like a lawsuit for the school, and like yeah, but that's the thing. Like the crazy thing is like it all comes down to money. So like even through that, like seeing if someone should be like arrested for it, it's like, oh, can like you pay for the medical bills or whatever, or can you do this, can you do that? And it's like, if you can't, then it's like, what are you gonna do about it? Like it's just wild, because I feel like a lot of people are going to be put at such a disadvantage, because like it really doesn't matter like what they're going through. It's like if you can't pay for it, you can't get it. And like that's the kill about like living in America nowadays, because like everything's like about money, and it's jail isn't like reformatory. Jail like breaks you, like, and we can see that from Khalif Browder. Like most people who get out of jail say they'd rather be in jail once they get out, because they can't live. Like it's not a thing that is supposed to like build you up and show you what you did was wrong and try and find ways that you can like just do good. It's just like, oh, you're a bad person, you don't deserve to be in the population, and like everything you do is just going to be bad.
It's an isolation method. That's all it is.
It really is.
Okay, should solitary confinement be considered cruel and unusual, like an unusual punishment?
It all depends on why. So, if somebody is acting out, like really like tripping, like real life, like if somebody shanks somebody in jail, yes, it's a punishment that is necessary, because in solitary confinement you cannot hurt anyone around you, probably except for yourself. I mean, I don't agree with that either. But at the same time, it's still about safety. And if the whole point of being in jail is to help you reflect on your actions, you can't do that if you're fighting for your life. So, so to a certain extent, yes, it is a necessary punishment. But if I like go to somebody, if I'm in jail and I like go to somebody and punch them, and a fight break out, but the guards break it up, then I don't think you should go to solitary confinement, because at the same time, it wasn't a fight to where somebody almost died. It was more of a I punch, you punch, you punch, I punch, and that was it. The guards broke it up, let it be over. So it's that should just be it.
Yeah. I think it all depends. Like I think it's like the extent of solitary confinement. Because I think like just putting them in there for like a couple days and like But like if you put them in for like an extended amount of time, like you're gonna lose your mind, and then like there's no human contact, you're in the dark, and then you have like 3 buckets, like one's empty, one's with water, and one you're supposed to use to like use the bathroom and stuff. And like I just don't find that like fair to anybody, because if you're gonna expect someone to like learn from the actions and then like learn from like those other actions, like I understand like to a certain extent where you're gonna have to like isolate them away from other people. But if it's at the point where they start like losing their humanity, then that something has to change, because you can't expect someone to integrate back into society when they can't feel themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're no longer yourself, then why were you in jail? Like if you're no longer yourself and like you're no longer like you're not learning anything
You're not
from
sane.
jail. Yeah, I feel like if like you get into jail sane but get out of jail insane, like something's not going on, because jail's supposed to be a reformatory. Like it's not supposed to mess you up mentally. It's not supposed to make you want to take your own life. Like I just think that some people abuse their power and don't realize the effects of the abuse until after like someone's done something like horrible.
Yeah.
Just like speaking about youth justice, like how do you think youth justice can like be improved in America?
I think it's more of people realizing their effect on other people. Like those in power, I think it's more of them actually having a heart to give back to the community, so people in bad neighborhoods can actually look up to something, so they can basically motivating, especially blacks in a poor community, to do better, to be better, to push kids to be better in a good way. I think it's more of helping kids while they're young, like shaping them and developing them into good citizens, having them in good environments, even though you're still going to have certain people who do what they want, who act out. But if it was never a point where people actually had to fight for their lives or sell drugs just to make it out, I think everything would go smoother. It's never been easy for us. Like we never actually had a time period in the United States of America where we didn't have to fight for our lives, be it with slavery, civil rights, and now, because everybody fights to make it out, but certain people just have a better I don't want to say develop. They have a better chance at life than others. So that's all I think.
I think youth justice can be like improved by like leveling the playing field. Like if everybody has like the same opportunities like across the board, then I think like then youth would like know what's right and wrong. We wouldn't have to like look up to negative influences to find what's like right and wrong. And I think that if youth detention centers, stuff like that, if like that was actually like meant to teach youth like what right and wrong is, and like trying to teach them how to like live life like properly, then I think that would also help. And also not charging children as adults for most cases. Like I know if you kill, like if you're killing somebody, then you gotta be punished. But I still think you should be put in the youth thing, because I feel like kids don't start making like those personas of like being like hard or whatever, like being like some big tough gangster, until they're pushed mentally. It's like a coping mechanism. Like I really don't believe any kid like truly in their heart, like once they see all the good that's in the world, like just want to be a gangster. Like that's really not a way to live. Like that's not cool. Like you're gonna live less life trying to like be a gangster. You know what I'm saying? So like, I just think that if juvenile detention centers were like more supportive of like integration and making kids like realize what they did was wrong and trying to get them on a better path, and I think that would be a good way to like improve youth justice, and also like treating them fairly and like not just stereotyping them. Like, I feel like the whole thing with Khalif Browder could have been avoided if all they did was investigate. Like, if they would have done their jobs, he would still be alive today, like, I believe. Because then they'd see that he didn't steal the book bag. And the whole trial would have just been, like, worthless because it's like, you have no substantial evidence here. So, yeah, I just feel like if everybody did their job and we're doing it what they're promoting and, like, oh, they're going to help this, we're going to help that, and, like, they actually did help, then I think that would also, like, be a great thing for youth justice. Because I think all these big problems that we're having nowadays, like, just honestly, like, wouldn't really be there because, like, we have all these people who are fighting for, like, what's right. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, that's it. Out of time. Great talking with you today,